Hello, hello! Welcome everyone to Northern Waters. I don't know why I always say it like that. It's how it should be said, I guess. We are playing World of Warships Legends tonight, like we've done many nights. So many nights before this. I am your host, Phoenix61. We're rocking out with the Rooke. This is the sort of newish tech tree for the British battleships, right? So, yeah. So we're playing through, and we've already made it to the tier 8, the Duncan, and I quite like the Duncan, so we've been playing with that ship quite a bit. So there's several videos out there with the Duncan as well, but I didn't post too many videos along the way. Like I kind of got like at least one or two out of each battleship along the tech tree as we unlocked the next one, right? But then ultimately, once I got to the Duncan, I was like, Duncan videos, let's do this. So there's several pretty decent ones out there with that. So go look for those after you watch this one, of course, right? Yeah, you gotta stick around for this. You gotta stick around for this section. But I think along the, playing along this tech tree, I really enjoyed the Rooke. I think the Hawk, the tier 7, the one after this, I think was probably the one I don't know if I want to say struggled, but enjoyed the least, And part of it might be because it just takes so much longer. That tier 7 to tier 8 grind is quite a bit more. I think it takes a little bit more, quite a bit more XP and earnings to get those unlocks and to get to that next and final ship, right? So we'll turn in here. We're going for this the A capture on this side, and nobody ended up over here to fight, so we're going to end up shooting through this little crevice here at this Nelson, and we'll see what happens, how good our AP rounds can be. That's a pretty decent angle. I think like vice versa, like if you're in this scenario, a lot of times other ships are coming around, up to the top, up to the left around this A cap. So normally you have somebody to fight with in front of you in this scenario, and you have to be wary of enemy battleships that are where this Nelson is, shooting you into your broadside when you're not paying attention, right? So if you get too focused on what's in front of you, you're not paying attention to the mini-map. These battleships will wreck you from the other end here, right? So I was really hoping for that kill there. We did get another Citadel hit, but he came too far forward, so everyone on our team was picking on him, right? So it's kind of a little bit too aggressive of a move on his part, especially for being in that middle spawn zone area, right off the bat in the beginning of the game. So that's why you're going to go down quickly if you're in a cruiser or battleship and you just kind of press forward right away. Even if you've got a bulky build, if you're the lead ship, everyone's going to want to shoot you, right? So we do have an anti-air consumable on here, which is really great. Of course, enjoy that when a carrier is in the game, right? So we have activated that just because the torpedo bombers, or actually the bombers, are coming after us, right? So it's really nice. The other thing too is it's really great. The enemy carrier is going to be like, oh man, I lost a lot of planes flying over that Rooke. So then they won't come back for you next time. They'll go pick on somebody else. So the anti-air consumable is just golden when airplanes are coming after you. But of course, it feels wasted if it's a game where there isn't a carrier, right? So we'll press through the zone. I know we were still getting the capture there. And we kind of left, but I want to get out here and put the pressure on this side of the map. So, if you can kind of pay attention to the mini-map in this scenario, most of the red team went over to the C side, right? And so we've got a battleship on our team on the mini-map that's running away from the C cap, and that's absolutely the perfect thing to do. Let's see if we can't get this Pensacola here. Over pens. All right, and then the torpedo bombers dropped a little too late, so that torpedo went underneath us. But basically what kind of like this scenario plays out, and their carrier kind of made a mistake here coming around this way too. He should have had that carrier go towards the C cap instead of this way. I don't know why he's coming over this way, but we're gonna be able to get him for sure here. But as you can see, so the enemies have taken the C zone, we've taken A. So we just kind of know that that's gonna play out this clockwise movement of of enemies. So that's why I was kind of pressing in, right? So we'll put the pressure on this side, and that's kind of the way you want to do it too. If you're on the strong side, you want to put the pressure on and press, and do as best you can. to be, be aggressive, but, absolutely don't sacrifice your ship. Don't put yourself in a dumb situation where you're just going to die. But, press as much as you can, right? And then this way we'll potentially be able to get their carrier, get this one battleship's going to be a lone solo target too after we take care of this carrier. And then we'll also be able to go in for the B capture too. And then the guys on our team, and this is really crucial as well, made the right move about not just gung-hoing it into the sea capture side, right? And so they didn't sacrifice their ship. They did the smart thing, and they're, sort of kiting away down there. So that's going to keep them alive until the rest of our team can come around and kind of help and break up that madness that is that sea capture, right? So kudos to everyone on our team thus far, except for maybe the one guy that died, but I didn't even see what happened. So I shouldn't say anything. So we take care of the carrier. Now we've got a lone Rooke over here. Some Rooke on Rooke action. So he's turning away from us, so we're going to switch to HE shells. Ideally, if you've got, you kind of know how it works, right? If you've got a decent broadside shot, you're going to use AP rounds for the most part. Sometimes some of these ships do really great with AP no matter what, right? You just kind of got to, aim for superstructure more so than hull then, so you don't get ricochets off the hull. And then he's going to... So I kept HE loaded because I thought he wouldn't turn broadside like this, but he looks like he wants to turn around, I guess, so... but, with the reload time, we're going to keep HE loaded, just because with the reload time, by the time it gets reloaded, he's going to, if he's turning in, if he keeps doing that turn, he won't be broadside to us anymore by the time we get reloaded, so... Although now I'm, speaking too soon here. We don't have a choice now. We're going to fire it no matter what. I really hate switching like halfway through a reload. I always feel like that's a waste. Boosh, we get incapacitation. So I did some more damage there. There we go. Alright, yeah, so he is turned in towards us, so we were kind of right. Just took a little bit more time, right? And then he's not even firing on us. He's probably going for the cruiser, which is kind of your typical like battleship style, right? So game always, we always say this a lot. The game has a rock, paper, scissors mentality, and battleships are typically best for taking out cruisers, so that a lot of times people make that recognition and go for the cruisers when you're a battleship. And then, of course, cruisers are great at taking out destroyers. Destroyers are great at taking out battleships, right? So it's the way of the World of Warships world, right?
Engine boost deactivated.
Then they got to go and throw aircraft carriers into the game, and it was like, I don't know what to do now. I don't know what to do other than hate aircraft carriers. Because you ruined my world. Though if you really dislike aircraft carriers, there are ships that are really great for anti-aircraft carrier builds. So my favorite ones are the Pan-European destroyer tech line. So the 6 and 7s are just amazing. So the Skane and Ostergotland. We have videos out there where we show off the build and kind of talents of those two ships, but those are my favorite ones too. Like if I'm in a division and somebody in my division wants to be the carrier, I will pick the Skane. If they're going tier 5 carrier, I'll pick the Skane. And if they're going tier 7 carrier, I'll pick the Ostergotland, right? So, but they're just amazing anti-air ships. So if you want your payback, that's the way to go and watch some of my videos on those two ships. But yeah, that's lots of fun. So I elected to not chase down that Rooke. I feel like a lot of times when that happens, and we've gone through this in some of our other videos too, where I've actually been that person, and if you're able to kind of lure the enemy team out away from the battle, then the rest of your team just comes in and mops up and caps all the zones, kills all the other ships really easily because there's not that many of them, because you were distracting a whole bunch of ships for your one battleship to however many ships you got to chase you down, right? So I'm always usually against, it's always scenario dependent, right? But in general, I'm against chasing down ships because then, the game's only 15 minutes long each. And if you spend 7 minutes trying to chase down one ship, then the enemies, you know, especially if there's multiple of you doing it, then the enemy ends up, you know, getting all the zone caps, has an easier time cleaning up the rest of your teammates, and so on, right? So it's all kind of like this, like, threefold of, like, just badness that ends up happening, right? So I'm a little too broadside to this New Mexico, and we're probably going to pay for it here, but I'm trying to finish off this Southern Dragon. And then I know the Southern Dragon has torpedoes too, right? So I want to do some maneuvering, because I'm sure that's exactly why he was broadside to us. He's probably, if he didn't send them to the left of that island, he sent them just now, in between these two little islands that we're looking in between right now too. So, and then so I want to be able to move out of the way, and then I want to be able to get torpedoes through there too. But yeah, so here comes the torps from the Southern Dragon. So it's kind of a good thing we kept moving this way, even though it was a little bit risky. We could have gotten, you know, we could have gotten eliminated by that New Mexico pretty easily, right? We don't have too much health left. So we'll see if we can finish off the Southern Dragon, and then we'll turn in, we'll make a left turn here, so that we're not broadside to the, oh man, and of course I pulled the trigger too, right as somebody killed him. But yeah, so now we're going to turn in towards the battleship so that we're not broadside to him, right? So we don't want to just insta-die, because that would be brutal. And it looks like somebody's got torpedoes going for him. Nope. Denied. So he must not have had bullets loaded. He must have shot his rounds at somebody else. So we were able to get ourselves turned in enough that that didn't kill us there. And then we should have a pretty decent shot on him, right? I probably hit him a little further back than I wanted to, but that's fine. Still got 2 penetrations. I'm a little curious if we can use this island cover and get turned so we could launch torpedoes. That'd be nice and fun, right? But also, again, it's a little risky. If he gets around the corner faster than we do, faster than we can go the other way, he'll murder us, right? So we'll get these off, and then we'll start turning back in towards him. Yeah, so he's getting a little eager. He's forced to try to kind of hit us further up the bow than what would be ideal for us. There we go. That's the kind of hit I want. But yeah, he was trying to finish us off before before we got fully around the corner, before we had a chance to angle. But now we've been able to angle. We just didn't get our torpedo hits, but it looks like our destroyer will finish him off. So sweet deal. We'll hang out till we get this zone cap, and then it's going to be a matter of like, how can we go and help? We'll either go for the D capture, or we'll head straight for where the enemies are. It's kind of this awkward situation right now where we're like, even on zone captures, they're capturing one of ours, we're capturing one of them, one of theirs, and then we're a little bit ahead on points. But you know, like losing one of these battleships is going to change that, and that's probably what's going to happen here. We'll have to see. Okay. I'm gonna think maybe we go for. There's not a lot of time left either. Decisions. This is a tough one. We got 1 heal left, but see that my dilemma comes from, this Gneisenau is like full on health. We'll go for the zone. I think our other battleship there is a Colorado, so as long as he's not, as long as he's not too crazy with his movements, he should be able to last a little bit of time against the Gneisenau. We'll go for the zone, and I think if by the time we get to the zone, if that Gneisenau keeps pressing in, we'll be able to help and shoot at the same time. We'll try that. We're kind of committed to that plan. I mean, there's only 1 minute left. I don't think... At best, we'll get into the zone, and it'll stop the enemy team from collecting points on that zone while we're in it. But we don't have enough time. Even if the destroyer comes up behind us on our team and helps cap, I don't think we have enough time to get the zone capture, right? So we'll do this. I mean, I think we're good even if we lose that battleship, because I think we've had more zones than them for longer amounts of time within the game. And then there are Colorado's also in the A capture too, so they're not getting points for the A capture right now either. Yeah, he's doing a good job. He's got that Gneisenau down to like half, and our Colorado hasn't really lost much from what he started with over there too. There we go. We're so close to being in range. I don't think, yeah, we don't have enough bullet flight time for these bullets to get there. It was like 8 seconds, and then there was literally 7 seconds left when we shot. Yeah, so it's barely missed there. We'll see where we ended up on the leaderboard for this game. And yes, we're using Charles Madden. So I've talked about the like my commander dilemma with these British battleships, right? So there was that puts us at the top, 2400 XP, almost 2500. But yeah, there was a calendar event when this tech tree came out that would net you a commander that I think is a little bit more tailored towards this tech tree of ships, this row of ships. But we're using this as kind of more of a defensive survivability build with extra heal and stuff like that. So, but yeah, like I said, once we got to the Duncan, I was a little frustrated with the lack of range out of this build. So I switched my Duncan to my my sort of like my other like my range and HE shell build commander that we use on like our Marlborough and like Conqueror and stuff like that. So go check out those videos too. We do go through the commander build for those as well. And then, of course, I'm almost always using Will to rebuild with my battleships. I know a lot of people live by fight fire with fire, because then you can just, let fires burn on your ship, right? But but that is it for now, you guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. Absolutely, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. That helps me out quite a bit. And then also make sure to subscribe to the channel. We are doing World of Warships videos every day, so there will be one tomorrow. See you then.